Okay, hello and welcome to another day of LSAT prep with me, your humble host, Tony. I am working on I'm working on getting prepared for the August LSAT using LSAT Max's course. Yard debris on me. And we're using, like I say, LSAT Max's course. We're headed to August test, and I'm through all of this material, the course material now, except for this writing workshop, which I'll do at some point when I feel kind of a breather. And then right now, what I'm kind of focusing on is this practice and review. I had been doing one test a week before this week. And excuse me, Lester. And next week, I'm going to start out doing pre-tests. So I'll be doing a test on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And somehow I'm going to have to do some review. I'm probably just going to have a truncated review on Friday because I don't really work on the weekends. Now that brings me to the idea that the test is coming here on the week of the 14th. Okay, you can test on Saturday, on Sunday, or on Tuesday. To my knowledge, this is what I've learned. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I thought I understood when I read about it. I think Monday is reserved for some other test takers. Anyway, I'm not right now doing anything on Saturday. I'm working a normal work week, taking Saturday and Sunday off, and then back to it on Monday. So Tuesday seems like the best option for me. However, usually they say the day before the test, don't push it too hard. So I'm going to have to somehow on Monday, um, after the weekend, not having done anything on, Saturday and Sunday, on Monday, maybe do something, couple of hours of prep, some in each of the areas, maybe one passage in reading comp and maybe one or two games and maybe 10 logical, anyway, something, a couple of hours max, and just kind of take an easy day and then hit it on Tuesday. I think that's the best option because otherwise, if I try to take it on Saturday, that's a total uh, switch up to my whole. See, look at this. They even got rest right here on this day before the test here on the calendar. So um, taking the test on Saturday would be a switch to my whole schedule. It would throw off my family schedule. I'm not willing to do that, so I'm thinking I'm going to take it Tuesday. If you guys have any suggestions or more information about that might help, comments please, and let me know what you think would be a better plan, or what you're doing would be cool to know. Which day you plan on taking it. I believe we can sign up somewhere in here on the 29th or the 30th, and then uh, you've got a choice of Saturday, Sunday, or Tuesday, unless you've got I think it's handicaps. I mean, or uh, I forget what they call the handicap things, like people who have double time or time and a half. I think they run those tests on a separate day. I actually tried to get into that because I had been reading out loud. Apparently, you can't do that during the test. And also, as you may be able to tell here, I'm standing up. I have a standing desk. And so, yeah, I'm a standing desk guy. I have a standing desk. Did you know I have a standing desk? They said I tried to get them to let me read out loud and use my standing desk. They said the reading out loud was no go, but the standing desk maybe. I didn't quite get a really clear answer on whether or not. They said that was up to the proctor, so I'm probably just not going to do it. I've got a whole setup, or I'm in a different room I'm going to take it in, and it's all sitting down. I'm not going to move this whole setup up there. So that's kind of where we're at now, headed towards the test, just kind of thinking things through. What I did yesterday and what I will do today. So first, what did I do yesterday? Yesterday, I was planning on doing diagnostic test 6, which is the next one in the run of things that I'm supposed to be doing. However, I have noticed that in these diagnostic tests, oops, this is not diagnostic test, this is prep tests. Let me get over here to diagnostic tests. In these diagnostic tests, I have found that I had already seen some of the questions. Like, for instance, you can see here, I did not do this diagnostic test, which is what I was supposed to do. I did not do it because I had seen 19% of the questions already. And if you see 19% of the questions, are you getting a real idea of what your score is like. No, I don't think you are. And so I instead went back with the my original plan of these different tests I was going to take here, 75, 76, the numbers. This is not updated all the way. I did diagnostic like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I was supposed to do 6 here or 6 here, but I ended up doing 75 instead, which is the October test. And so this is a 76 October test, 151. I'm like stuck in this lower 151 area. This 157, I had seen like 14% of those questions, and I had seen like 15 or 16% or 17% of these questions in this last test. So I don't know what to do. I've got a tutoring session a little later today at 11, and I'm asking my tutor to just let's come up with some strategies, some game plan of attack. I need to, I'm not running into very many questions that I don't get it once I see when I do my review. When I go through and review these questions, I'm like, okay, I see it, and I think I learn a little bit. You can see here my trend is kind of going good, except for that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm like still at around average 50%. I don't know. Whatever. Uh, I'm asking the tutor to help me come up with a strategy to go forward because when I see the question and I understand, when I blind review it, I'm often able to come up with the right answer. However, that is augmented somewhat by, or helped somewhat, handicapped, if you will, somewhat by the fact that when you do the review, it indicates what answer choice you chose before. So clearly that's not the one. And usually I'm down to 2 question answer choices. And so one thing I observed is that with this test, as you can see here, I got a 151. I'm going to move myself down here. So these are my logical reasoning sections here. Logic games, 52. Reading comp, 67. So this was a good bump here. But if you'll notice, I've got a little better here, a lot better here, and then a little worse here and a lot worse here. If you look at these two scores relative to one another, I gained about 23 points between logic games and reading comp, and I lost about 25 points on logical reasoning, percentage points, not scaled score points. So basically, what that indicates, I had spent a lot of time looking at reading comprehension the day before. And I did a game or two, I think. So it seems like and I think I had done a lot of reading or logical reasoning before I did this test, and similar to this one. So it seems like whatever I focus on, I do better at in the test. So I probably need to spend most of my time focusing on logical reasoning and logic games and very little time on reading comp, because reading comp, it looks like I got my best score ever yesterday. I tied my best score ever. And, just a little commentary on the logic games. There was one game that just totally killed me. See if I can even maybe grab it up here. Let's find the practice test I did. Here it is. And it was, I think, section 3. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah. Okay, so it was this game. Photographs in what is it? Newspaper, and the photographs were by one of 3. So it was 2 photographs per section, and those photographs were taken by these 3 photographers, and they were constrained by these rules down here. This one, I just could not get the inferences just were not jumping off the page at me. And I think this is, I don't know what kind of game this is. I think it's a multilinear game, or maybe it's a grouping game or a hybrid game, because it doesn't have, Yeah, it doesn't have any elements of order to it. It's just grouping. So I think it's grouping game. Um, but I mean, it was kind of like either multilinear or grouping. I'm not sure. I think linear is when you go. Sequencing is when they're in order. A linear game. I don't know what the difference between linear and sequencing is. Sequencing is one after the other. Linear is like one after the other. I don't know. So anyway, obviously I'm not really doing well on knowing how to set these games up. I think I set this up correctly, but it took me a long time. I spent most of my time right on these two games, and I don't think I even got to do much on these last two. So I looked at this one and was like, oh, sweet, this is 6 questions, and just attacked it. But because you spend a lot of time just looking at figuring out what kind of game it is, and then you're kind of invested a minute into it already. So anyhow, that zapped me on my score here. Um, you know, uh, maybe it was worth a couple more points if I had done that differently, but I didn't, and so here we are. So yesterday I also did. So we're still in what did I do yesterday? Yesterday I also did a partial review. I reviewed logical reasoning section 1 and reading comp, and then today I will finish that review with my logical reasoning 2 and logic games. I'm supposed to put in 6 hours a day, um, and so um, I guess it's not recommendable to do 8 hours of this, just to try and avoid burnout. So I'm going to allot my 6 hours between logic games, logical reasoning, and reading comp in this way. I'm going to do 3 hours of logic games, which will include my review. I'm going to do 2 hours of logical reasoning, which will include my review, and then I'll just spend an hour. I'll do a passage in reading comp maybe. So, but coming up here in about 45 minutes, I have a tutoring session with Chris, my tutor. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to any input he has. Hopefully he'll have some good pointers for me, and that'll help me improve my score. So appreciate you guys watching. That's about all I have for this video. And if you have any comments or questions, I would love to hear from you. And if you would mind giving me a like, I would appreciate that as well. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day. Press the LSAT.